Blindsided in Berea. Kevin Stefanski's cold shoulder to Shadur Sanders sparks outrage amid Kenny Pickett's injury chaos. Berea, Ohio, in the high-stakes chessboard of NFL training camps, opportunities don't knock. They kick down doors. Especially when your starting quarterback is recovering, the second stringer pulls up lame with a hamstring injury, and practice reps are up for grabs. Yet somehow, in Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders, arguably the most electric rookie QB prospect not named Caleb Williams, can't even get on the board. Instead, he's tossing passes to ball boys and trainers while the rest of the quarterback room cycles through meaningful reps with actual NFL wideouts. The message is clear, and it's not one that's easy to ignore. The rookie ignored. When stats don't seem to matter, let's rewind. Training camp is traditionally where reputations are built or broken. It's where depth charts evolve and unknowns become stars. So, when ESPN Cleveland's Aaron Goldhammer reported on July 25th that Shedeur Sanders was throwing to equipment guys, jaws hit the turf. Shedeur Sanders apparently is throwing not to receivers but to equipment guys, Goldhammer said during a segment, disbelief heavy in his voice. They've got equipment guys like Jug snapping him the ball and then also running the routes. Sanders, the Browns' fifth-round pick with Heisman buzz trailing behind him from Colorado, came into camp with a resume that read like a dream: elite arm strength, next-level composure, and a football IQ sharpened under the tutelage of his father, Hall of Famer Deion coach Prime Sanders. Yet, for days into Browns camp, the rookie hadn't taken a single snap with the first-team offense. This wasn't a matter of mismanagement. It was looking like a full-on strategic freeze-out. Ghosts of QB's past. To make matters more frustrating for the Shedeur camp, look no further than his competition. Joe Flacco, a former Super Bowl MVP whose better days are long behind him, is reportedly running with the ones. Despite having a stat line in camp that reads more like a retirement announcement. 17 for 34 with 0 touchdowns and no interceptions. Shedeur, by comparison, 20 for 31, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Cleaner, more productive, and all while throwing to, let's not forget, equipment staff members and practice squad volunteers. If this were purely a numbers game, the choice would be clear. But in Cleveland, numbers seem to come second to a plan that head coach Kevin Stefanski claims is written in pencil. We're not reading too much into the reps right now, Stefanski told reporters. I have a plan that's in pencil. The problem? That pencil seems to be used more for erasing than writing, particularly where Sanders is concerned. From HBCU to Power 5 and now here, despite being sidelined and overlooked, Shedeur Sanders has remained composed. His tone to reporters is calm, his words measured. This isn't the first time he's been doubted, and it likely won't be the last. It doesn't really faze me, Sanders said. We came all the way from HBCU to Power 5, and now we're here. So at this point, if you look around, there's nothing that's a challenge, I would say. That statement says more about Sanders' mental strength than anything he's done on the field. He's been overlooked before, rejected by blue blood programs out of high school, questioned when he followed his father to Jackson State, doubted again when he lit up Pac-12 defenses last year at Colorado. Yet each time, he's answered with performance. And now, as one of the few rookies in Browns camp putting up clean numbers, he's being asked to wait, or worse, to accept being ignored. Kenny Pickett's injury. The door that should have opened. For a brief moment, it looked like Shedeur's chance might finally come. Kenny Pickett, the presumed number 2 behind Deshaun Watson, was having a strong camp. 2 solid practices, a few highlight throws. Then boom, a hamstring tweak. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Kenny Pickett injured his hamstring near the end of Saturday's practice and is expected to reevaluate the injury later this week. That should have been a shift in the pecking order. With Watson still sidelined on the PUP list and Pickett now hobbling, logic suggested Shedeur Sanders would finally get a shot. The reps had to go somewhere, right? Wrong. Instead of giving Sanders a look, the Browns pivoted toward Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel. Yes, Gabriel, the same undrafted free agent with 0 NFL game reps and nowhere near Sanders' collegiate pedigree, is now being fed real receivers in camp. Meanwhile, Shedeur is still in quarterback limbo, still throwing to guys who won't even be on the Week 1 sideline. The strange politics of development. It would be one thing if Shadur Sanders was underperforming, if he were struggling with timing, arm strength, or decision-making. But none of that is true. From all accounts, he's been sharp, efficient, and locked in. So why the lack of opportunity? Some insiders believe it's less about football and more about perception. Shedur's name, his brand, it's bigger than the round he was drafted in. One anonymous AFC scout told us. Some coaches don't like that. They think he hasn't earned it. But if you look at his numbers, he has. Others wonder if Stefanski is trying to make a point. You earn your place regardless of what your last name is or how many Instagram followers you have. That would be noble if the playing field were level. But when one quarterback gets reps with Pro Bowl receivers and another is throwing to interns, it's hard to sell that narrative with a straight face. A plan in pencil or a script in stone. Kevin Stefanski insists this is all part of the plan. That he's testing combinations, learning what works. That development is a process. But with every passing day, the skepticism grows. Because if this is a process, it's the most backward-looking one the Browns have employed in years. Development doesn't mean hiding your best-performing rookie. It doesn't mean pairing a quarterback with 0 NFL-level receivers and expecting progress. It doesn't mean putting a Heisman-tier talent in a box labeled "Wait your turn," while older, less productive veterans get all the real work. It means competing. It means reps. It means fairness. None of which seem to be on the table for Shadur Sanders right now. The locker room knows. Don't think the players aren't watching. Inside every NFL locker room, guys know who's performing. They see who's moving the chains in practice, who's putting in the work, who's being overlooked. And while they won't always say it out loud, the whispers get around. Multiple Browns players, speaking anonymously, admitted they've been confused by the distribution of reps at quarterback. Everyone sees the arm, one player said. He's got it. He's sharp, calm under pressure. He ain't acting like some rookie either. Just goes about his business. So why not reward that? Is it just Stefanski? At some point, the focus has to shift beyond the head coach. If Kevin Stefanski is indeed the architect of this plan in pencil, he's certainly sticking to it. But is he the only one? What about GM Andrew Berry? Or the rest of the offensive staff? Has no one stood up and said, "Hey, maybe we should at least see what Shadur can do with real weapons"? Or is the erasure of Sanders not just a coaching decision, but an organizational one? That possibility, more than anything, should concern Browns fans. Because if you have a young quarterback who's checking every box and still can't get a look, what does that say about the team's internal process? It doesn't look like caution. It looks like fear, or worse, ego. Shedur's quiet strength. Through all this, Shadur Sanders remains unshaken. His words are mature. His posture is confident. And his play, even in the shadows, continues to impress. "I'm not here to complain," he told a local reporter after Saturday's practice. "I'm here to get better. That's what I've always done." That quiet strength might just be his greatest weapon. Because while others get caught up in the noise, Shadur is locked in on the long game. He's been doubted before. He's been overlooked. But he's never been outworked. And eventually, when the opportunity comes, and it will, he'll be ready. The bottom line, Kevin Stefanski may say the plan is in pencil. But right now, it looks a lot like stone. Shadur Sanders is performing, producing, and handling adversity with class, and still being shut out of meaningful reps. With Deshaun Watson sidelined, Kenny Pickett injured, and Joe Flacco looking like a relic, this was supposed to be Shadur's opening. Instead, he's still waiting outside the door, and no one seems willing to let him in. Maybe it's just growing pains. Maybe it's an old-school coach with a new-school quarterback. Or maybe, just maybe, Cleveland is once again failing to recognize talent until it's too late. Whatever the case, one thing is certain. Shadur Sanders isn't just ready for the spotlight. He's already shining in the dark. Boog down. Shadur Sanders' agent falls for viral hoax while fiercely defending his client's NFL legacy. In today's era of social media chaos, where parody pages often blur into trusted sources and meme accounts push viral misinformation faster than verified journalists. One misstep can shift a narrative in a heartbeat. Just ask Hellion Boog Knight, the fiercely loyal agent of NFL rookie and Coach Prime's son, Shedeur Sanders. He's not just Shedur's manager. He's been a cornerstone of the Sanders brand since the quarterback burst onto the national stage. But this time, Boog got blindsided. Not by a blitzing linebacker, but by a meme account masquerading as a legitimate college football outlet. It started innocently enough. While scrolling through X, formerly Twitter, Boog stumbled upon a headline that caught his eye. Boo Carter, a touted Tennessee freshman and former Coach Prime recruit, was allegedly flipping his commitment to join the Colorado Buffaloes. For Boog, whose professional DNA is deeply intertwined with the Buffaloes and their Coach Prime era, it felt like a moment worth celebrating. So he reposted the story, amplifying what he thought was good news for his inner circle and the Colorado faithful. Only problem? The story wasn't real. It didn't come from On3, the respected college football recruiting site Boog thought it came from. It came from No3, a satire page deliberately spoofing On3's branding. And in an instant, Boog's credibility took a hit. When meme culture meets NFL business, the fallout was swift and unforgiving. Within hours, screenshots of Boog's repost flooded football forums and meme pages, with users mocking him for falling for the prank. "Damn, Boog, how you fall for this?" One commenter wrote, summing up the tone of hundreds more. For Boog, it was a brutal reminder of how fast misinformation spreads in sports media. One wrong repost and the agent of one of the NFL's most high-profile rookies finds himself the punchline of a digital avalanche. And yet, beneath the surface of this gaffe lies a bigger story about loyalty, misinformation, and the very real pressure that comes with managing a player like Shedeur Sanders in the NFL spotlight. Boog Knight, not just an agent, but a guardian. To call Boog simply Shedeur's agent would be a massive understatement. He's been one of the key architects behind the Shedeur Sanders brand, too legendary, since the quarterback's college days. From NIL deals with Nike and Google to content strategy and public relations, Boog has navigated the high-stakes, often volatile terrain of modern sports representation. That journey intensified when Shedeur dropped to the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft, an event many saw as an indictment of the NFL's skepticism toward flashy personalities and family dynasties. But Boog never blinked. He rallied behind his client, defending Shedeur in interviews, building campaigns, and even battling the Cleveland Browns over one of the most unexpected controversies of the offseason: jersey numbers. The jersey debacle, a symbol of something bigger. After Shedeur's draft to the Cleveland Browns, one of the earliest moments of tension came not on the field, but in the locker room. Shedeur has long been associated with the number 2, so much so that it became the central branding pillar of his too legendary empire. The number was more than a uniform, it was part of his identity, the visual glue tying together nil sponsorships, custom gear, video content, and more. So when the Browns handed that jersey number to veteran slot receiver DeAndre Carter, who had never previously worn the number, it wasn't just a procedural roster move. It was a slight, and Boog wasn't about to let it slide. The agent took to Instagram, posting a now-deleted story that called out the organization for what he described as a blatant show of disrespect. To Boog, the number wasn't just stitched fabric. It was the culmination of years of brand building and strategic identity work. To many observers, it looked like the Browns didn't understand what they had, and Boog made sure they heard about it. From viral meme to real transfer rumors. Ironically, Boog's mistaken repost wasn't entirely baseless. The original story, though faked, was rooted in ongoing rumors about Boo Carter's status at Tennessee. Carter, a dynamic athlete expected to break out in 2025, had reportedly missed multiple team activities. Speculation mounted after Carter allegedly got into a confrontation with team leaders around July 16th to 17th. While no official dismissal has occurred, his visibility in team drills has plummeted. Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel, known for prioritizing team culture over star power, has remained tight-lipped. His silence recalls past decisions, like when rumors swirled about Nico Iamaleva's departure. Further fueling speculation, Carter recently changed representation, moving from Isaac Connor to Omar Cooper, who also manages several high-profile athletes. Still, there's been no concrete evidence of Carter transferring, let alone to Colorado. In fact, his mother has publicly reaffirmed Tennessee as his home, even showing off new Vols gear on social media. Boog, after realizing his mistake, took to the comments to clarify. Didn't know it was a meme page. My bad. Still, something going on there. Online trolls don't know the whole story. While the online community had its laugh at Boog's expense, those who know the agent's track record aren't laughing. You can say what you want, but Boog's the guy you want in your corner, said one former Colorado staffer who worked with him during the height of Shedeur's collegiate rise. He doesn't miss a beat when it comes to brand strategy or player development. Indeed, Boog's slip-up on social media is more of a cautionary tale than a career indictment. It highlights how easily false information spreads, and how even the most seasoned professionals can fall victim in a moment of haste. But it also underscores the volatile climate that agents operate in today. Between NIL negotiations, NFL branding, and media perception, one wrong tweet can undercut years of credibility. And for someone like Boog, already operating in the ultra-magnified world of the Sanders family, the stakes are even higher. Brady's mentorship and the path forward. Despite the jersey dispute, the draft disappointment, and now this online stumble, Boog remains laser-focused on Shedeur's future. That future, notably, now carries the number 12. A jersey made legendary by another quarterback Shedeur has turned to for mentorship, Tom Brady. Sources close to the Sanders camp reveal that Brady's involvement has gone far beyond surface-level advice. He's been mentoring Shedeur since before the draft, helping him navigate both on-field mechanics and off-field pressure. When Shedeur lost his cherished number 2, it was Brady who reportedly encouraged him to embrace number 12 and create a new legacy. "Don't let a number define you," Brady told him, according to someone familiar with their conversations. "Make them remember your play, not your digits." That mindset has trickled into Boog's approach, too. While he may have been temporarily tripped up by a meme page, he's still steering the ship, and the course remains unchanged. Protecting the Sanders legacy. What sets Boog apart isn't just his loyalty. It's his understanding of the brand he's managing. The Sanders name isn't just about football. It's a cultural movement, a media empire, a generational shift in how players engage with fans, platforms, and power. Coach Prime turned a historically underfunded HBCU into a national football phenomenon. Shedeur Sanders turned nil into a multimillion-dollar business while throwing dimes on Saturdays. Shiloh Sanders has his own fan base and marketing deals. And through it all, Boog Knight has been behind the curtain, pulling levers and protecting the brand with a mix of strategy, street smarts, and unapologetic passion. One viral mistake won't undo that, but it will serve as a reminder. In the digital age, reputation is fragile, even when your heart's in the right place. Final thoughts. In the end, Boog Knight's fall for a meme page might have been funny, but it also highlighted the absurd speed at which sports narratives can shift. It showed how quickly digital perception can turn the most serious brand builders into viral punchlines. But it also revealed something deeper: the unwavering, almost familial loyalty Boog has for Shedeur Sanders. A misstep doesn't cancel that. If anything, it reinforces the lengths he's willing to go to protect the player he believes in. And that's why Shedeur Sanders, despite all the challenges, noise, and NFL politics, still has a fighting chance to write his own legacy, on and off the field. Because behind him stands an agent who's more than a manager. He's a believer. He's a fighter. And yes, sometimes he's human too.